Miss Miracle Christmas Chronicles, The Christmas Wish Factory. Episode 1, Scene 3. Before we dive in, please remember to subscribe. I've got more stories that'll hit just like this one. I fail to see how my expertise applies to a teenager's Christmas project, Mrs. Eleanor Abernathy said crisply, adjusting her blanket like armor. Do you remember, Ms. Miracle asked gently, what it felt like to explain something wondrous with precision? To lift the veil between mystery and knowledge? Eleanor hesitated, just for a heartbeat. That was my life's work. There's a boy who believes snow is magic, Margaret said softly, and a scientist who knows exactly how it works. I need both. I need you to be my chief meteorological officer. For the first time in months, Eleanor's lips twitched upward. And what experiment exactly do you propose? The most important kind, Ms. Miracle said. The one that proves wonder and science can coexist. By nightfall, a plan began to form. Part engineering, part miracle. The courtyard would soon become a laboratory for hope. By morning, the hospital hummed with different activities. Tommy's room was a meteorological lab. Young man, Mrs. Eleanor Abernathy began, I understand you've expressed interest in the precipitation phenomenon known as snow. Tommy, frail but smiling, nodded eagerly. Then you are in luck, she continued. The Christmas Wish Factory has appointed me to lead your education in snow formation and observation. Over the next 36 hours, the sterile hospital room became a classroom. Mrs. Abernathy, reborn in her element, taught him the science of snow, her tone growing lighter, her laughter genuine. For Tommy, each lesson was oxygen. For Eleanor, each explanation was resurrection. December 15th arrived, cold and clear. From every ward, patients, friends, and families gathered by windows. The process, Mrs. Abernathy explained, involves compressed air and water, nothing magical at all. But when the first snowflake drifted past the glass, Tommy gasped. It's real, he whispered. As real as science allows, Mrs. Abernathy said, though her voice trembled. Miss Miracle brought in some gathered snow in a glass jar, and Tommy reached out. His fingers brushed the snow. It's cold, he cried, laughing through tears. That's the heat transfer principle at work, said Mrs. Abernathy, though her own eyes shimmered with emotion. While snowflakes melted on warm hands that night, hearts in the hospital began to thaw, too. Even the ones once hardened by rules and regulations. In the reflection of the snowlit window, Miss Miracle smiled faintly. Another wish, and 2 hearts fulfilled. The administrator had once warned, unauthorized volunteer activities violate protocol. But on Christmas Eve, he found himself hanging a paper star on the ward's small tree after witnessing the impact firsthand. The baker arrived with star cookies, bringing joy to a boy who had forgotten the simple pleasure of taste. The musicians' gentle melodies filled rooms that had known only beeping monitors. Parents who had been strangers found themselves sharing coffee and conversation, forming support networks that would last beyond the holiday. Around her, faces glistened with quiet tears. Jason adjusted the live stream tablet. Tommy waved weakly from his bed. Mrs. Abernathy sat proudly beside him. Smiles returned, laughter echoed, lights became warm. A doctor forgives himself and learned to accept his diagnosis. A nurse laughs again. A janitor gets a phone call from his son. The hospital breathes again. Fear gave way to kindness. Loneliness turned into connection. And in those sterile halls, ordinary moments became extraordinary. The Wish Factory had fulfilled 67 wishes. From virtual family reunions to graduation ceremonies that never would have taken place. The real miracle, Ms. Miracle explained to a curious nurse, isn't in gifts, but in presence. As the clock struck midnight, it was clear the Wish Factory had done more than grant wishes. It had rebuilt a community. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe for more royal content. Hit the notification button. See you in Scene 4.